Welcome back to The Eager Cyclist. On this journey, we're going to be riding from Peckham Rye Park down to Rye Lane, which is a very popular high street in South London, in Peckham, and then on towards Burgess Park. And rather than heading into Burgess Park, we're going to turn right and then head further north and join the C10 cycle route to ride into central London. And in this film, we're going to be talking about the topic of prosocial cycling, which is a new term that myself and other people in the cycle training world are starting to use. And as its name implies, prosocial cycling is all about us riding respectfully, looking out for other people on the road, and following the rules for cycling in our areas. And this is all particularly important for us as riders, because if we can ride well, then we and others can enjoy sharing space as positively as possible. Now, just quickly before we continue the film, if you do enjoy watching this film or others on the channel, then please do like, share and subscribe. That will help our community grow and ensure that these films reach the widest possible audience. So I'm just turning onto the one-way system here in Peckham Rye, and it's quite a wide section of road here. We've got parked cars on the right and a cycle lane on the left. I've chosen not to use the cycle lane there. That's partly because we've got a junction up ahead. You might have spotted that there are some vehicles turning left into the side road. And of course, I wouldn't want to be overtaken at that junction by anyone turning left. So here I'm just slowing down for the zebra crossing. And this is really important, I feel, in terms of prosocial cycling, that we give way to pedestrians and slow down for them where needed, such as situations like that with the zebra crossing. So here I'm just turning left onto Rye Lane, and Rye Lane is one of the busiest high streets in South London at certain points of the week. At the time of this film, this is around 8 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, not too busy, but at certain times of the week it can get very, very busy here with pedestrians. It's a very, very popular high street for shopping, and there's also bars and restaurants nearby. So yeah, those times I tend to ride not too fast. Pedestrians have got a tendency, I find, to step out onto the road, sometimes without looking. So yeah, important not to rush, not to ride too fast, and to give way to pedestrians who are already crossing the road. You might have spotted that there's a delivery lorry up ahead here, and I'm just slowing down, making sure that I pass it nice and wide and slowly where needed, just in case somebody steps out behind it. So up ahead, we've got a junction controlled by traffic lights, and we can see the bus waiting at the lights. And here I just check my left shoulder, and I'm choosing to filter up to the front. So we've got an ASL or a bike box here, and I position myself here in the primary position, the follow me position, which is where I typically would be in an ASL in this situation. And there you might have just spotted, I just look back and make eye contact and give the driver a nod. And I tend to do that quite a lot when I'm riding in London. I like to interact positively with other people on the road, including people in buses. And what that does is it briefly forms a short positive relationship on the road. So it builds positive vibes out on the road, and it also helps build my confidence when I ride. I do find that when I interact positively with other people on the road, I tend to get the same back from them, and that helps build my confidence and helps me enjoy my cycling. So this is a shared section of pavement where, of course, pedestrians have priority, and we're just crossing Peckham Road here, and you might see up ahead there's a light green building. That's the Peckham Library, and I always ride this section nice and slow. Lots of pedestrians using the area normally, and up ahead we're going to join the Surrey Canal, and this used to be part of my morning commute for many years when I used to live in Lewisham, and it's a really nice route for cycling, but also used by lots of pedestrians, and I have seen riders go way too fast down these paths, spooking pedestrians who do have priority. So yeah, just important to ride respectfully, ride in a prosocial way here, slowing down. I do tend to use my bell quite often on the Surrey Canal. I do recommend that all riders get a bell for their bikes or cycles. We can't, of course, use our bells to tell people to get out of the way, but we can use them to just let them know that we're there. So yeah, definitely recommend getting a bell. Along the route, we've got these beautiful bridges which we can ride under, and as we go further north here, we're going to be joining the section which joins Burgess Park. And Burgess Park is a really nice park now, and it's actually home to a fantastic cycling facility, a cycling club called Peckham BMX. And Peckham BMX, you might have heard of it. They've had massive success in BMX riding, BMX racing, and we've had some Olympians and Olympic medalists come from Peckham BMX. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're in the area. Now this is the section of the route where we rejoin the road, and we're going to head further north and soon join the C10 cycle route. And on this section of road, there's just a few things to think about really. So parked cars, of course. So we spoke before about the need to ride out of the door zone if we're riding at any real speed. And up ahead, we've got the junction with the Old Kent Road. I'm choosing not to filter to the front here. I don't know if I've got time to get to the front, so I'm staying in the traffic queue. And yeah, the lights are changing red, so I'm stopping. We've previously spoken about the importance of adhering to traffic lights and traffic light sequences and not jumping the lights. So yeah, it's just really important that we adhere to the traffic light phases. We don't spoil it for other riders. Of course, if some riders jump red lights, then drivers and other people using the road can just make assumptions that everyone does that. So yeah, just important that we adhere to the phases. So we're going to be joining the C10 in a moment. So there's just a few residential streets. So as you can see, it's getting busier with riders. And yeah, this section of road that I'm just turning onto here, just carefully checking for traffic, giving myself looking time and thinking time when deciding to turn. And very narrow section of road. So parked cars, lots of doors. So yeah, just riding outside of the door zone where I can. At this junction, I'm turning left, so of course turning from primary position. We've previously spoken about the need to turn into and out of side roads, usually in a primary position, so the middle of the traffic flow. And I'm staying in the primary position here. I'm going to be turning right in a moment, and this is quite a narrow road, so I don't want to be too far to the right here. I want to stay in the primary position to make it clear to anyone behind to not pass me on either side. So yeah, just something to think about there. You've probably just seen that I've signalled right to turn into the side roads, and that just reminds me of a Prosocial tip, which I sometimes mention to riders that I work with. So yeah, when I do signal, I do sometimes turn my hand signal into a thumbs up, and that's just a short way of saying thank you to the person behind for their patience if they've been waiting behind me. So we're now on this C10 cycle route, which is by and large, I feel, a fantastic way to cycle into town from southeast London. It's not quite as direct as the C4 cycle route that we saw in the last film on the channel, but it is a really good option, and it starts near Greenwich Station in southeast London and leads all the way into town. And as you can see, it does consist of some quiet roads like these ones, but there's also sections with shared use paths and yeah, sections which are completely separate from motor traffic. Now on this part of our journey, we can see more and more riders, and this is quite a good opportunity for us, I feel, to take a little sneak peek at how other people are cycling. Now I don't want to be too critical of anyone riding in this film, but it is an opportunity for us to just have a quick look at how others apply the 4 key skills. And there have been some comments on the channel about how much I look over my shoulder, how much I look around, including behind me, and how little some of the riders look over their shoulder. Another consideration here is, of course, road position. And we can see some of the riders riding very close to parked cars on the left. And yeah, it's just important that we do ride outside of the door zone if we can. You might recall from film number 1 that we mentioned a short rhyme which is that we should try to ride the width of the door and a little bit more so we don't end up on the floor. So yeah, there we are. Now, back to the topic of prosocial cycling, I would definitely recommend that you check out the Travel Like You Know Them campaign, which was a fantastic behaviour change campaign by the Department for Transport. And yeah, the campaign was all about us following the rules of the road, but also importantly thinking about the people that we share the road with, as opposed to, for example, just the vehicles around us. So the campaign was all about us thinking about the person. And I've put a link to the campaign in the description for this film, so yeah, definitely check that one out. So we're coming to the end of our journey now on this film, and I hope you've enjoyed watching and this film has helped you reflect on how you cycle and how you share the road with other people. And for anyone who's interested, you might want to check out film 5 on the channel, which is a journey from near this location here, which is just south of the Shard, where I cycle further into town and I cross Blackfriars Bridge and finish my journey on the embankment. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.